Morning, guys. About 6 a.m. Today is a big day, and I think you guys know why. If you're a subscriber of this channel, you know I'm really excited to do some of the bigger mods now and get these out of the way. But first, we got some unboxing to do. Got a few things this morning. Some I remember, some I don't. Oh, these are nice. Got some power posts. These are kind of a hint as to an upcoming episode. So we'll set those aside. Don't remember what this is. I've been ordering so much stuff lately, I can't keep track of it all anymore. Important pieces. These kind of go along with the last package there. These are 2-watt copper lugs that have been tinned. So that's kind of another hint as to an upcoming episode. Set those aside. These are some marine waterproof rated DC circuit breakers, which also gives you a hint as to what's coming up. And these are the super nice ones. So got your reset. This is a 200 amp one. These are actually underwater rated, which is kind of impressive. Everything's stainless on them. So, got 100 amp, or 200 amp, and then two 100 amp. Set those aside. You guys probably know what this one is. Shake the box gives it away. If you remember any of my other unboxings, you'll know exactly what this is. So the amber turn signals on the front, I bought a set of clears, and I'm kind of undecided. I really like the orange on the front, but also I'd like it to match the ones on the back, except these are the amber versions. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Should I leave the amber turn signals on the front, or should I swap them out to these clear ones which have the amber LEDs in them? Let me know what you think. Big heavy chunks of metal, right? Well, I think I shared this with somebody else too. With Alan Kaplan. You want to rebuild your drive shafts because your U-joints are toast. or keep some spares on hand. Got these off of eBay for, I think they were 70 bucks plus shipping. These are the nice ones. They're greasable. Got 2 of them just to have in case something goes wrong on the road. It's a good kit to have. What else do I got? I think that's it for unboxing this morning, guys. Well, I was gonna get the wire wheel out and start ripping down these handles, but it's gonna rain out this morning, so we'll have to hold off on that. Wait till a sunnier day where I can respray the whole door. My thought was to wire wheel this down and then just spray the whole door, fold the door out and spray it. That way I don't have to mask anything. So I guess it's time to get the 100 amp alternator off and set them side by side and do some comparisons, and then attempt to do an install. So let's get started on that. Well, that came off pretty easy. Let's do a little comparison here. Let's compare the pulleys. Looks like the pulleys are almost identical. It looks like they're 4 inches and 4 inches. So that's good. Gonna do a measurement on the back here to compare the width. And I'm gonna measure from the fan on the back here to the front of the case. So this one looks to be exactly 10 inches. And this one looks to be under 10 inches. Looks like 9 3/4. So the 200 amp version is slightly bit shorter. What else can we measure? Looks like the ears are different. So it looks like this one might go on the inside of the bracket, whereas this one was on the outside of the bracket. So let's see. What's the other thing we can look at here? Well, the diameter. The diameter is obviously larger. So if we just go off of the fans on the back, that one's about 7 inches. And the 200 amp is about 7 3/4, 7 5/8. So slightly larger. What about the distance between the ears on the back? So outside to outside, looks like we got 6 3/4, and then outside to outside looks like we got 8 3/4. So there's a 2-inch difference. That's pretty big. I don't think the OEM bolt is going to fit through there. But just by looking at it, yeah, it's not going to make it. So we'll have to source a different length bolt. Although the connections look similar. So on this side you've got 24 volt, 12 volt, and then you got your ground at the bottom, and then you've got ignition and AC, I believe is what that one is. So same thing here, you've got AC, ignition, 24 volt, and you've got ground at the bottom, and then your 12 volt sits up here. Now this is the big difference between the actual LMTV 200 amp alternators and these ones. I'm posting a link down in the description to a company on eBay that has lots of these, and they're, if I remember right, they're about $900 shipped for these units, NOS units, just like this one. So it looks like everything is going to go in there. This might be a problem because of the simple fact that where the ear, you see where the ear sits here and the regulator sits here, and then you've got the opposite on this side. So what I think is going to end up happening is I'm probably going to have to fabricate a bracket for this. That's my guess as to what's going to happen. As far as the longer bolt goes, I'm going to have to figure something out for that. I'll have to source something. I have a hardware store up the street. Let's compare the weights of these. Let's get the camera set up here and we'll compare the weights. So what I'll do is I'll measure my weight first. So I weigh about 190, so 189. I'm going to pick up the original LMTV alternator. So 240, so this one weighs about 50 pounds. I'm going to guess there's a 20-pound difference here. This is the big boy. This is a 200 amp alternator. Yep, 20-pound difference. So the 200 amp alternator is 20 pounds heavier. Looks like the bracketry on here is heavy duty enough to hold this alternator. I mean, you've got a triangulation bracket there, and it actually goes back down to the block, and then it's hanging off of the water pump pulley here. So it looks like it's gonna be okay in that aspect of things. What I'm not too sure about is this. I think I'm gonna have to fabricate something there and come up with a solution for this. I'm getting a longer bolt through here. So let's see what I can come up with. Let's get the alternator out here first and see if the belts and everything line up as they're supposed to. Alright guys, it is gonna work. It's gonna work no problem. The only issue is that the voltage regulator needs to be rotated and attached to a separate bracket. And I need to get a longer bolt and some spacers. What else? Oh, I'll have to fabricate a bracket that goes from here to here. But I mean, other than that, it's gonna do exactly what I need it to do. So I'm gonna have to head to the hardware store. I got a couple packages to drop off at the post office, and then I'll be back and we'll continue with this. Well guys, no dice here. What I'm looking for is a 1/2 inch bolt that's 10 inches long, just like this one, except not this one. So I think I'm gonna head to Fastenal. They've got all kinds of stuff like this. The one in Hillsboro probably has one. Well guys, Fastenal had, I lucked out. They had one 10-inch bolt left. So I grabbed that and a couple bags of washers to maybe make some spacers with. And then a nylock nut. Everything is grade 8 or higher. And it was 27 bucks for everything. Not bad. Heading back home. Gonna work no problem. I have to put some spacers. I'll just use some grade 8 washers on the front, but if you pull it all the way forward, it lines right up where it's supposed to as far as the belts go. So I haven't pulled the belts on. It's gonna be a tight fit. I just have to create a bracket from here to this other dog ear, and then make a bracket for the voltage regulator to put it in place. Bolt everything up, and it's a done deal. Along here, got the belts installed. They line up correctly. I just got to set the tensioner. It's a pretty tight fit, but it works. I made a bracket here out of some grade 8 bracketry, and then I had to drill a hole in this one to attach to that dog ear. This is a 3/8 grade 8 bolt. Look at plenty of length on these lines here, and should be able to mount the voltage regulator right there somewhere. Plenty of room all the way around, plenty of room in the back, nothing's hitting. I'll have to put another bracket on this hose here so it doesn't interfere with the alternator. But overall, this is going a lot better than I expected. Which one of you was it? Which one of you was it that said it won't work? You'll never get it bolted up. I'm gonna go back through my comments. I'm gonna find you. Bolts up just fine. Had to purchase one 10-inch bolt, some washers, and now it's starting to rain out. And I used some grade 8 brackets. Got the voltage regulator mounted on one of the brackets in there. Everything bolts up. Got the hydronic system hose routed with a nice clamp on it there. Only thing left to do now is to reconnect the batteries and start the truck and watch the smoke come out of it. You guys like to see smoke shows? We're gonna make a smoke show. Well, here goes nothing. A little bit of styrofoam came out there from the packing. Lights are working. Let's do a voltage check. .5. 28.4. Between phases it's 14 flat. It works. 14 and a half. 14 and a half at the battery. Let's see, 24 volts. 14 and a half more. 28 and a half. This thing's putting out some nice juice. Everything appears to be working the way it's supposed to. The belts are all lined up. They're not flopping around. The tension is correct. There's no funny noises. I think I'll lower the cab down and see what it looks like on the dash. See if all the dash lights went off. I want to make sure I got that hooked up correctly too. There was some more dust inside the alternator that just blew out there. Lower the cab down. If you guys do this mod, be very cognizant of your wiring right there. It gets close to the cab, but I mean it doesn't touch it, and the air is out of the cab lift right now, so just make sure you put some straps around it to pull those wires down. Should be fine. The other ones from the other alternator run pretty close too, so it's just something to keep an eye on. You definitely don't want those big wires making contact with the cab up there. Everything works as it should. There's no warning lights on the dash. And I think that's going to be it for this episode, guys. If you liked today's episode, you found it helpful and useful, give me a thumbs up. Hit like. subscribe. And as always, I'll catch you guys later. See ya. Bye-bye.
I desecrate and drink your hate, feeding up off your threatened state. You come to me, I'll make you bleed. Think you're gonna ride, I'll break your steed. Oh my god, seeing red. I just know that you want me